Spiritus in Veritate, welcome to FortiKast, the official online show of Power of Northfield's official school publication, FortiBus. FortiKast online show. Join us every Friday as we explore different issues, discover the truth, and share good vibes in our coming episodes. Today's episode, we ask, what is living a fired up life? Please welcome your hosts, the LLB, Lucas Bonifacio, Lance Valencia, Mr. Bernz Caasi. All right.
Hey,
beautiful
Hello.
afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to FortiKast. I'm your host, Lucas Bonifacio, and with me, as always, are the two handsome gentlemen beside me, Lance Valencia and Sir Bernz Caasi. Good afternoon, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good afternoon. Hey, Northfield, what's up?
Woo!
Fired up.
Right. Fired
Taas
up.
na energy natin, ah.
Guys, ang taas ng energy kasi Friday na. Konti na lang payday. Payday na ba? Hindi pa ata. Pero malapit na. Konting push na lang, guys.
Bakit
Payday
yun
na.
ang iniisip mo, Lucas? May pay ba kayo? Joke lang.
Hindi, ang payday namin, yung pahinga. Because it's the weekend na. So,
tama.
pahinga na, guys. Weekend na. So, thank you for joining
Lucas,
us today.
magano ka naman.
Ano yun, pare?
Magkwento ka naman kung ba't iba na yung background mo.
Oo nga.
Ay, hindi, pare. Feeling ko kasi, kailangan natin ng refined image. Gusto mo, pahinga muna tayo sa noise background natin.
Yun.
Ibang
So,
parte
yan,
naman.
so,
Ibang side naman. So, hey guys, nice to see you all today. So, usual spiel tayo. Kamusta kayo guys? Share with us your weekly updates. How are you guys doing? Lance, Sir Bernz, sino mauna sa inyo? Go
Lance
ahead,
muna.
All right.
Well, first of all, it's been a very tiring week. I did a lot of like workload this week apparently today, and I'm just thankful na yun may payday na. Woo! Let's go. Magpapahinga na ako this Saturday. Salamat Lord. So yun talaga yung week ko.
Yan. So, ako, partly to blame ako dyan sa kapaguran ni Lance. And Lance and Lucas are both my students, no? So, sorry guys. And kung kayo napagod sa paggawa ng workload ninyo, kami ding mga teachers napapagod din kaming mag-isip ng workload at gumawa ng rubrics, no? So, lahat tayo napapagod. And yes, I really hope na things would be better. Ay nami-miss ko na guys yung face-to-face classes natin. Diba? At least dati, di tayo nakaupo lang sa isang lugar. And this week, yan yung naging problem ko, no? Parang I feel na-burn out ako in a way, na nakaupo lang sa isang lugar, nakaharap lang sa PC, pare-parehas lang yung nakikita ko. Kaya gusto ko yung ginawa ni Lucas, may change of location. Masubukan nga next week. Ikaw, Lucas, kamusta ka naman?
Yes, sir. You should try also changing your backgrounds, changing your moods. Kasi, syempre, sanay tayo, nakaupo, tas meets nga, nakaslouch tayo, ganun. So parang, simoy naman ng hangin, no? Ang simoy ng hangin sa akin ay lumalamig na. So parang patingin tayo sa mga greens. Kasi I remember one episode we talked about na na-mention ng isang viewer na pag tumitingin ka daw sa mga green substances or sa mga leaves, mga grass.
Nature.
Nature. Gumaganda daw yung eyesight mo. Kumaga nakakapag-rest yung mata mo. So that's good. Make sure to rest your eyes, your guys, no?
I think I remember who that is. I think it was like si Tok Santos ata.
Legendary ngayon.
Si Legend.
Legend yun. So for me naman, weekly update from my end. Same typical week, tiring but very fruitful, no? Pero
and fulfilling.
Tama sir, and fulfilling. I still can't forget that episode we had last week, no? With the Jollibee commercial and our content creators. So kung hindi nyo pa napapanood yung mga episode namin dun, make sure to check out facebook.com/FortiBusNF for our past episodes and also our YouTube channel with the same name, FortiBus, no? So ayan, guys, excited na ako for today. But before we proceed to our infocus, let's greet some of our viewers. Ito mga hype, mga fired up ang ating mga mga viewers natin ngayong araw. So what's up guys? Sabi ni Mix de la Cruz, what's up Northfield? What's up din sa'yo, Mix?
What's up?
Joining us. Ito, sabi ni Isabel Victor, good afternoon FortiKast. Long time no see. Good afternoon. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Sabi ni Vaguebot, wow, wind. Wow, I miss you Vaguebot. Thank you for joining us today.
Siguro sinasabi niya yung win kasi yung buhok mo gumagano.
Oo, gumagano.
Parang Pocahontas yung peg mo ata pa.
Sana colors of the wind, no? So, Sir Bernz, Lance, I'm very excited for our show for today. Bakit yung tinawag na hot take ang episode natin today? Lance, kindly fill us in on that.
All right, so today we have for you a quote-unquote hot take. We bring to you, dear friends, a very special guest. We now move on to today's In Focus.
All right, I'm so excited for our wonderful guest today. So before we bring him, allow me to introduce our wonderful guest for today. All right, he is an
But
author
before
to
that,
books. Oh,
Lucas.
sorry. Go
No,
ahead,
Mr.
sir. Go ahead.
Calderon just came in, no? Baka di mo nakita si Sir Linus. Hi, Sir
Oo nga.
Linus. Ipasok
Sir
muna natin si
Linus.
Sir Linus.
Pasok ko na sila. Sir Linus, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Kompleto na ang Triple L with a T.
Yes.
Hello, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Ayan.
Oh.
All right. So, kompleto na ang ating FortiKast host. So, that being said, allow me to introduce our guest for today. He is an author to books The Fired Up Life and 365 Fired Up Days, owner of Fired Up Life, publishing Fired Up Life, training series. Please welcome author, speaker, and entrepreneur, Mr. Kirby Llaban. Good afternoon, Sir Kirby. Welcome to FortiKast.
Happy to be here.
All
Let's
right.
get fired up.
Woohoo! All right, let's get fired. Woo,
All
let's
right.
get fired up. So sa mga anime fans ko dyan, panoorin niyo yung Fire Force kasi sobrang solid doon.
Tama.
Fired up na talaga ako. So, Sir Kirby, welcome to the show. Bago tayo kwentuhan ng talagang about the Fired Up Life, I want to hear, share with us your weekly updates. Kaya icebreaker muna tayo. So, kamusta naman ang linggo nyo, Sir Kirby?
Very busy. I've been having talks almost every night or in the mornings. So, because I'm a motivational speaker, I give trainings. So my mornings and my evenings are sometimes filled up with sessions. Like this week, I talked to a group in Bataan. Then the other week, a group from the Middle East. So it's like really going back and forth here, but just right here at home, right? That's the wonderful thing about the pandemic. I used to travel a lot, but now I'm just here at home. Tipid siya, no, and the energy is conserved. But I've also been busy with my Monday to Friday show at 3:00 p.m. So prior to this session that we're having now, I just gave one. I gave a talk about defining your personal core values. So yeah, that's a preview of how I spend my week.
Thank you for that. Core values. Never kong malilimutan ang ating core values. Dear Mariners, kindly comment, what are the 4 core values of a Mariner? Lance, what are the 4 core values of a Mariner? Kindly share with us today before we proceed. Si Lance, naririnig ba ako? Hello?
Lance, are you with us?
Lance, are you with us? Okay, babalikan natin si Lance. Parang siya yung panelist, no? So, dear Mariners, humility, order, piety, and excellence. 2 cents natin mamaya mag-intay kayo dyan. As we have mentioned before, kanina sa morning assembly, na-mention namin na we want to hear from you. What are your Lenten sacrifices? So, in pursuing the virtue of piety, excuse me for that, piety, let's remember that we're in the presence of Lent, no? So, abstinence tayo today. And Lance, yun, balik ka, Lance.
Yung wifi ko, di ko kayo makita.
Alright.
Okay lang yan,
Sabi
okay
ko,
lang
hope,
yan.
syempre alam ko yan, hope, humility,
Yan,
order,
tama.
piety, at saka excellence. Grabe naman.
Tama,
Oh,
yan.
Siyempre,
Tama.
wifi
Very
ko
good.
eh.
Tama. Very good, very good. Dalawa teacher yan, no? Good luck. So, and before we get, I'm so fired up right now. Before we move on to our wonderful discussion for the day, we have a very, very special promo for you guys. Legit na to, okay? We have a very, very special promo for you guys. Kindly wait at the end, towards the end of the show. I-reveal namin yan in a while. So, Sir Kirby, I hope you're very fired up, to share with us your wonderful insights and inspire our viewers today. So, Lance, take it away and let's begin our fired up conversations. Pwede yun.
Okay. So,
Bago yan, ha?
first of all, bago ako kasi usually we have like a bunch of guests, but for now, I think we only have one guest, diba? So,
Mm-hmm.
so Sir Kirby, just to start things off, what is the story behind the concept, like Fired Up Life?
Well, you'll be surprised. I used to be a full-time lay missionary for 16 years. So after graduating college, I was very active with a group called Youth for Christ. I felt a calling. And I said, gusto ko mag-missionary. So 16 years, no? I graduated as an engineer, but I dedicated the post-college years into mission. Then after 16 years, of course, I got married. And nagkaroon ako ng mga anak, then I felt like I have to really sustain and provide for my children. So I went into business. Now, that transition from missionary life, which is actually very fired up because I go to different countries and I give talks. Then I transitioned to entrepreneurship life. Tapos sabi ko, parang ibang-iba to. And there I felt like, oh man, I'm not motivated. I'm so down. I felt that I had no direction, and I was really trying to learn the ropes of business. After 16 years, first time nag-business. So I felt like I was the opposite of being a fired up person. But along the way, I realized that baka kulang lang ako sa clarity. That was my turning point. I needed some clarity. So one time I did a personal retreat. I drafted my personal passion, purpose, vision, values, and goals. Those are the 5 things that I created, and I called it a blueprint. Alam nyo, when I defined those 5 things, it gave me so much clarity that I was able to learn how to motivate myself. Sabi ko, motivation pala is not something you just get from speakers or some book that you read. It's something you do to yourself. But the key really there is clarity. Then after that, my business flew. I got a lot of invitations on speaking, and I was able to write my first book, The Fired Up Life. And this book really gave me a lot of openings into different companies and corporations to build my business up. So sabi ko, I can teach people how to get fired up pala by just writing these 5 statements that are very important to them. So ganon, no? Then after that, I already flew to Australia promoting the book. I flew to Guam and some other parts of the world. No, sabi ko, para ang layo nung na-discouraged ako after missionary life, and just because of a certain clarity that I pointed out or discovered, sabi ko, okay, this is pala the way to go. And from then on, I started teaching people how to get fired up. So that's like the short version of my narrative. So here I am. I have 4 kids, and we're working from home, and I'm just doing talks and trainings to companies. So basically, that's where I am at right now. And the part of my story is meeting your teacher here, Bernz Caasi, because I used to hold monthly seminars. I called it Passion Builders Night. Sa mga fired up, those who want to transform their passion into profit. No, so I do once a month seminar, and that's when I met your teacher here, Bernz, and isang fired up din na tao, so nakakahawa din siya. So yeah, that's my short story, the short version.
Right. No, so thank you, Kirby. I owe many things from you, no? All the things I know about content creation, marketing, business. Grabe, pare yung mga pinag-uusapan natin sa midnight huddles natin, yan yung nagiging laman ng mga slides ko sa entrep class namin with this grade 12 students. No? So thank you for that. And I'm curious, kasi these boys are content creators. They really want to, be out there to serve people through social media, and that's exactly what you're doing now, Kirby. That's a huge part of your success as a speaker, as an entrepreneur. And our students are interested, no? How did you start as a content creator? Kasi this is parang like a semi part 2 of our discussion last week when we had content creators also as our guests. So how did you begin? From missionary, di ba, naging YouTuber ka? Tell us about your experience as a vlogger before. And now your page has 20,000 followers. So how did you, bring the Fired Up Life message to these 20,000 people around the world?
Yeah, I actually tried to explore as many possible venues to share the Fired Up Life message. And I podcasted, I went to YouTube, I went to Twitter, and all these avenues, right? But I decided to focus because, we only have limited time, and mag-isa lang din ako doing this. So I said, I want to put all my energy in Facebook because that's where my market is. So I did that. I put there content each and every day. I would put a mini vlog kasi ayaw ng mga tao sa Facebook na mahaba. So just a short 3-paragraph vlog, and it caught on. And about a year later, after I launched my page, I started to do the Fired Up Coffee sessions, especially during the pandemic time. No? Sinimulan ko siya last year. And you know what? I just aired my 211th episode today. So the key really here is, number one, do people know that you will show up at a certain day of the week or at a certain time? Kasi pag content creator, ang number one problema niyan, consistency. Ganado sa first month. Oh yeah, YouTube tayo, vlog tayo. After 1 month, oh man, I'm so burnt out. I'm not fired up anymore. So you just do it once a month. Uy, by the way, mababalik na ako. Pagbalik mo, another month na naman. That's that's the natural death of of content creation when people get burned out along the way. But what keeps you fired up is to actually make your content creation dito na sustainable. Okay, how do you make it sustainable? Sustainability is also about getting paid to do it. And a lot of content creators really take a lot of effort, buy a lot of equipment, but they don't get paid. And you know what? In my daily show, 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., I get paid for that. And at the end of the show, I just ask anybody who believes in my message can be a patron. And right now, I have 30 patrons who pay a certain amount in a platform that I created for them. And they believed in the message, and they're the ones sponsoring the show. So I go there live, I get paid, and it makes it sustainable. And I have a special relationship for those who are paying for it. So they have exclusive access to me coaching them, things like those. No, you get you can what you call this, monetize it. That's the internet term, monetization. So if you're a YouTuber, okay, you want to get viral on YouTube, but it takes a lot of time, and sometimes it's a fluke, di ba? 2 years ka nang nag-vlog, wala pa rin, no? You're not you don't have your mansion from your YouTube advertising yet. So what I'm saying is, promote a product, have a merchandise, have merchandise, in other words. Pero yun nga, you just have to really put in the work, at least for the first 2 years. No? For the first 2 years, you just have to be super consistent. Don't give up on the first 2 months. No? Kasi yung 2 years na yan, magkakaroon ka ng clarity of message. In other words, if you want to find your voice, you've got to use your voice.
Nice. Thank you for that. So no, that's the key, consistency. I think that's one of the takeaway that we will get from this episode. No, kasi it's really hard to it's really hard to do the things consistently, di ba? Sabi nga nila, most of us Pinoys are ningas tugon, di ba? We are good at the beginning, but as time goes by, medyo humihina tayo. Okay, so Sir Kirby, you've mentioned that you've been a missionary for 16 years before becoming content creation, and part of that is also teaching families, teaching young people, especially you're from Youth for Christ, teaching them about the Catholic faith, and we have entered the Lenten season, of course, the season of Lent. So what do you think, how can you advise us, as young people, also young adults, and everyone who's watching, how can we motivate ourselves to fire up our faith, especially this Lenten season?
Yeah, in fact, I'd like to propose something, at least 4 things that we can think about during Lent. First, the big idea first, don't waste your Lent. Ayan, no? So don't waste your Lent. Lent is such a wonderful opportunity to become closer to the Lord. And a lot of times we waste it because we have a poor understanding of it. Pag sinabing Lent, nako, pag Friday, isda na lang. Pag Lent, nako, tatanungin na naman ako ng mga teacher ko, what are you sacrificing for the next 40 days? It becomes something that's like a burden. But for me, it's an opportunity. It's like the time in the life of the church where we can actually become closer to God. Now, 4 things. First, pray. Magdasal. Pray in a sense that you pray for an intention. You pray for the things that you're weak at. Di ba? Meron mga weaknesses tayo. No? Mahilig magkopya ng assignments, ganun, no? Yung mga late mag-submit, last minute magsasubmit ng reports, and all these things, that whatever weaknesses we have, right? And you pray about it, no? You examine your conscience, and you go deeper into relationship with God. Lent is really related to the 40 days that Jesus fasted, di ba? Dun sa wilderness. It even relates to Moses' time in Mount Sinai. So For 40 is such a special number. Even the Israelites went to the desert, 40. So, grabe, no? If you really take that history on into your life, it will be more meaningful. So, first you pray. Pray deeper, examine your conscience, build a relationship with God. Second is really confess. I don't know how we do it in the pandemic time. Di ko alam, Bernz, no, or Sir Linus, kung pwede ba online. I'm not sure if the sacraments allow that at this time. I'm not updated with the recent guidelines. But confess. It's a time where you can really have a good confession. Kasi napagdasal mo eh. Third is fast. No? So, hindi lang yung fasting of sweets. Minsan, pinafast natin para pumayat tayo. Okay na yun, no? Pero hindi ako magkakanin sa next 40 days. Pero what is really the intention behind that is to really look good, right? But yeah, you can fast Netflix. Just kidding. Okay, so bahala kayo, no? Basically, the principle is things you're addicted to. Things you're addicted to that is hindering you to be fired up in the faith. No? So ano ba yung nakaka-addict na mga bagay? For me, ito, kape. Although my show is coffee sessions, pero it's something I'm a bit addicted to. And when I mortify, you know this word, right? You're gentlemen. So when you have mortification through your the little sacrifices that you make, it reminds you to be holier, right? It brings you to holiness. And lastly, this is the more practical aspect is almsgiving. Almsgiving. Magbigay sa mahihirap, magbigay sa nangangailangan. It's the easiest to do. Hindi tayo, it's not hard to find poor people here in the Philippines. In fact, we've grown up to accept poverty as part of our landscape, and we should say no to that. Simply because your generation can claim that we can raise the Philippines up. And the easiest way is to do almsgiving, in your own way. Mahilig kayo sa kape, whatever, don't buy that Starbucks coffee this week and give that 180 pesos to someone really who needs a meal for their family. That's something very practical. And if you do these 4 things, pray, confess, fast, and almsgiving, I think you'll have a very meaningful Lent and you will not waste your Lent. So yeah, maganda yung Lent kasi, di ba, it comes from the Latin quadrigesima, or Quaresma in Spanish. So it's 40, 40, ang ganda, very specific 40 days in a year na tayo ay magbibigay ng focus sa gawain ng Diyos at buhay ng Diyos sa ating buhay.
Thank you so much for that, Sir Kirby. So I'm very fired up because it's the Lenten season. And ang dami ko na nakukuha insights ngayon. Ang dami ko na nasusulat ngayon. Thank you so much, Sir Kirby. So I really want to hear from you. Maybe you can share with us a few anecdotes or few inspiring words on how we can really live, a fired up life. Any resolutions that we can do or anything you can share to the fired up youth today. Next, kasi Sir Kirby, I believe that the youth today, very driven, very passionate individuals. And I think if we put all our passions, all our likings into good use, talagang we can change the world. We have the capacity to be the fire starters and parang sa fire force, the fire starters of this world. So Sir Kirby, I want to ask what are your words of inspiration so that the youth today may live a fired up life?
We are living at a time or era where it's unprecedented. The internet is here. Alam mo yun, yung mga lolo natin walang internet, di ba? Maybe your parents were able to reach the start of the internet age. And you are living at a time where your passions can actually become something that you can build on. Your passions can be something that you can create something out of a life of. All right. So that's the first thing. We have to capitalize on the power of the internet. And in fact, before, sa panahon ni Sir Linus tsaka ni Bernz, kailangan ang ganda yung access ng library ng school nyo. We have the best library. Ayan, yung mga pinagyayabang ng mga schools. 5 floors ang aming library. We have the most knowledge here. Ngayon, our library is Google. There's less and less excuse not to succeed, or wala na tayong excuse not to really succeed because we have all the information we need. Now, what you need is focus. What you need is to choose a field to choose a concentration, to choose an expertise. In the 70s or 80s, to be a generalist was something really popular. You know a lot of things, so you become a leader and stuff. But right now, it's more of a specialist. And who gets paid more these days? Specialist. Diba? Kung doktor ka, the surgeons, no? The surgeons, those who are experts on the matters of cardiovascular stuff, they get paid more because you're a specialist. So I would say, you want to get fired up, you have all this information online, choose an expertise. Become an expert, okay? And how do you become an expert? Read more books than any one of your peers or anyone in society on that topic. I tell you, you'll be an expert on that. Second, experiment as many things on that said topic on your own, and fail, then learn, fail, then learn, fail, then learn, and eventually you'll succeed on that topic. Third, go online. No, don't worry about critics. They'll always be there. May mga wala talagang magawa sa buhay, but to criticize. That is their expertise also. But what I'm saying is, don't be afraid to share of yourself out there, because your God-given talents have to be shared to the world. That's what I'm saying. Your God-given talents should not be buried. Kasi sa totoo lang, sisingilin tayo ng Diyos. Anong ginawa mo sa pagiging madaldal mo? Anong ginawa mo sa pagiging empathizer mo? Anong ginawa mo sa pagiging nerd mo or pagiging geeky mo? Sobrang talino mo pero sinasarili mo lang, 'di ba? So hindi mo sinishare sa mundo. So we have lesser and lesser excuses not to share our passions to the world. So we have right now we have a show. Sino lang bang dating may ganitong show? Si Boy Abunda, si Chris Aquino. Ngayon 40 bus students of PAREF have their own show and are mini celebrities in their own schools. Diba?
Celebrities, voice.
Yeah.
Celebrities. Ay, mali yung sound effect. Dapat ito. Very good.
Ayan.
All right. So, do you have anything else to add, Sir Kirby? Or
yeah, what I'm just saying is there are two things that will really hinder you from sharing your passions or from getting fired up. Number one is doubt. Every day yung doubt nandyan yan. Araw-araw, every morning, pagising mo ang sasalubong sa'yo, pagdududa. Will I succeed in life? Will I be able to get a good grade in this project of Sir Bernz? Yun, yung mga pagdududa, no? That would always come every day. It's not a one-time deal. You exterminate doubt and for the rest of your life, you're not gonna doubt. There'll always be that. And second is fear. And fear is the fear of failing, the fear of criticism, the fear of not being good enough to your parents, or the fear, these things. Just overcome. Your parents love you. And we have imagined fears. But we just have to do our best. And if we fail, then we become better. Kasi dalawa lang yan, win-win eh. If you fail, you learn. If you win, you gain. Either way, you benefit, right? So let's not be afraid to venture into things that we know we can become the best at. Sabi nga, strive to become a category king. Ayan. So if you're an expert at anime, Fire Force, then you create a whole web page about Fire Force, and all Fire Force fans all over the world will come and rally around you, because people are just looking for someone to lead them, right? So you can start a podcast on Fire Force and geeking out on the backstories of each one. So and you can sell merch of Fire Force, anything, man. Like just go over your doubts and fears, and the antidote to that is motivation and focus.
Thank you so much for that, Sir Kirby. I'm so fired up right now. Shout out sa mga Fire Force fans dyan, no? Alexa, play Inferno by Miss Green Apple, no? So grabe. And also, Sir Kirby, tinamaan ako dun, no? Waking up in the morning, doubts. Grabe, papasaba ako sa subjects. Grabe, isa ko pong problema yan. Graduating na po kaming lahat. Ilang buwan na lang, college na kami. College nga ba talaga? Abangan sa susunod na kabanata. So anyway, so Sir Kirby, before we move on, to our next the next segment of today's show, I would like to ask, maybe you can share with us the two books that I mentioned a while ago. And kasi ito na yung ating promotion, guys. So Kirby, take it away.
Yeah,
Yung-
I'd probably prefer, offer just this book. Kasi itong libro na to, this was published 4 years ago and it's sold out. I've really 0 copies of this. I sold like 7,000 copies of this, and it's not in national anymore. It's 0. But this is this is a more practical book that I'd like to offer. Kasi a lot of students are very busy. They have all these pages to read in whatever subject you have, science, entrepreneurship, etc. Right? And I designed this book to just be a one page a day thing. No, so 2 minutes lang, fired up ka na. And some of those who read this call it an espresso shot of motivation. So parang 'di ba ang espresso maliit lang. Pero yun, you get a kick out of it. So this book, 365 Fired Up Days, sasamahan kayo 1 whole year, and you will enter my thoughts. No, you will enter my struggles and how I feel, how I overcame those struggles. Lahat ng klaseng problema, lahat ng klaseng things that will hinder you from achieving success in your life ay nakalagay na dito, and how we are able to solve it. So yeah, it's like a devotional, but for people who want to achieve their goals in life. Those who, especially for those who are doing business or working, or students who are striving to be their best. So yeah, it's called 365 Fired Up Days. And I thank you for posting the link. Unexpected, nandiyan pala. Fired Up Life Store. So I mentioned earlier about merch, right? If you're a content creator and you want to monetize, see, I'm doing it already. I'm monetizing this interview. I'm monetizing the content that I'm sharing with you. So if you go to fireduplifestore.com, you will see the book, and you will find out how easy it is to do e-commerce. Students can do e-commerce so easily. You set up as a Shopify store, and you can already put up whatever you want to sell to the world, right? Even kahit sa labas sa Pilipinas, you can order from this. So fireduplifestore.com, and you can find this book, 365 Fired Up Days. And of course, maybe our hosts have mentioned it earlier.
Yung promo code.
Yes, our wonderful, yes, ito na guys, ito na. Woo! Wait, let me compose myself. Ito na. 1, 2, 3. You got this, Lucas. All right. So guys, if you're interested to buy the name of the books again, the 365 Days Fired Up
Days.
Life. Yeah, and the Fired Up Life. Use promo code PAREF for 200 pesos off your purchases. Again, fireduplifestore.com. Use 200 pesos off your purchase. Use code PAREF. No? So kung gusto nyo bilhin yung mga libro na ako, bibili na rin ako niyan. So the Fired Up Life and 365 Fired Up Days. Yun, maraming salamat. So Sir Kirby.
Actually, just to clarify, the code only applies to 365 Fired Up Days, and there's a deadline. The deadline is this: by tomorrow midnight. Tomorrow's what? Saturday. Right. Tomorrow midnight, the code expires automatically. So you've gotta act on it now, or you missed the chance to get the 200 pesos off. So yeah, that's basically what I can offer to Parap community. Kasi I know, right? There's just so many things na paggagastusan sa school and stuff. And I said, I'll make them an offer. And let's see. Baka makatulong sa inyong pag-aaral, makatulong sa mga parents. This would be also a good gift to the parents as well. Those who really strive hard to provide for their children and try to pay the tuition every year in Paref, right? So you need to get fired up, and so you can reach your goals.
Great.
Thank you so much for that, Sir Kirby. So sa mga nanonood sa atin dyan, guys, tatuin nyo pa ng project. Bukas yung deadline, ha? So gamitin nyo yung code PAREF for 200 pesos off your purchase. The two books, we have the Fired Up Life and 365 Fired Up Days. So thank you so much.
May ebook version? Yeah. May ebook version ba ito?
Yeah, the ebook, yes, there's an ebook. You can go to firedupcourses.com. So maybe someone can just type it up, but I'd rather just offer 365 Fired Up Days. Try to get the hard copy. Try to get the hard copy. It's like you can smell it. Yeah, you can encircle it. You can You can get angry at it, or you can, write notes. Like, yun pwede mong panggigilan, in other words. So, yeah, this is my offer. Yeah. So, I've heard a lot of good feedback from this book. People who just message me and just thank me that, it saved their business, it saved them from giving up on life. Some are suicidal and said, thank you for the book. Thank you for reading for day number 55. Mga ganun sila eh. So, thanks, it saved me. So, hindi ako nahiya, no? Kasi if it will save people, if it will fire up people, then, I'm just gonna promote it with all of my strength. Ganun ang passion, actually. Yeah, if you talk about passion, that's how passion is. It's hard to turn off. Mahirap siya i-turn off. It's hard to turn off passion. Kaya kami ni Bernz, I know, is my good friend. We do huddles. We do huddles kasi ang hirap i-turn off ang passion. So we just talk about content creation and just reaching to more people. Right. Kaya ganun yan. If you found your passion, you can't help but use the internet to spread it, and you can't help
talk
but
about it.
People. Yeah, you can't help but really bless people kahit hindi mo sinasadya. And Sir Linus, I just want to go back on something about consistency. For those students who are content creators, the best content that I make were on my worst days. I tell you. Yeah, like the best content, like I go on live show, I prepare, I think hindi masyado magandang topic, tapos biglang ang daming nagustuhan yung topic, and it's a mystery. And there's power in showing up. Just show up, be consistent. And here I am showing up today with you. So whoever, kahit isa lang dyan ma-inspire, then I'm good.
Wow.
Great.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Grabe. Very wonderful insights today. So,
Sir Kirby,
guys,
I'm sure you're inspiring a lot of people here right now, including me, of course.
yes.
I'm
Kami na
so
dito.
inspired.
Yes. So fired up and empowered now. So thank you so much for that, guys. That marks the end of our In Focus. Pero, Sir Kirby and guys, wag muna kayo aalis dahil pupunta na tayo sa ating 2 cents for today. We'll be right back after these messages. Joke lang, wala pa tayong ads. Pamunta na yung ads. Alright. So we now proceed to our 2 cents for today. All right. So may nakita akong comment dito, natawa ako. Sabi niya, all good songs are made when heartbroken, they say. Naku, may pinagdadaanan si Big Bot. Big Bot, okay ka lang?
Usap tayo, Big Bot.
Usap tayo, pare.
Yeah,
Pag may
my
pinagdadaanan ka, ano mo lang? Go ahead.
Yeah,
sir.
that's true. My best tweets are when I feel like so disappointed and feel like frustrated. Kasi you get into the real heart of the emotion. And when you put that into words and into music, oh man, powerful. So yeah, I agree with that comment.
Amen.
We talk about that contemporary art, di ba, Lucas, yung suffering artist. Di ba si Van Gogh? He was able to create his masterpiece when he was depressed, he was suffering.
Yes, sir.
The concept of the suffering artist. Okay, I am so
Art,
inspired. No?
Yeah, thank you so much. So yan, kanina, guys, sana naririnig nyo pa ako. If you guys are still here, can you guys comment Fired Up Live? So yan, comment kayo Fired Up Live, guys. Ha? So, we now move on for our 2 cents for today. So kanina, pinag-usapan natin yung ating how we can live a fired up life during Lent. So, kanina sa morning assembly, hindi naka-attend yung mga iba, mga ibang nanonood dyan sa morning assembly dahil North feed ng lahat yun. Pero we want to ask you, our dear friends joining us this afternoon, what are your Lenten sacrifices? So, I'm gonna do a round robin dito sa ating panel ngayon. Kindly share with us your Lenten sacrifices. No? So maybe we have a Padlet link prepared. So in a while, baka pwede nating i-share para ma-check natin ang mga sagot ng ating mga Mariners. So I want to do a round robin with everyone. So kindly share with us, what are your Lenten sacrifices? So we can start with Lance. Ikaw, pare, ano yung mga Lenten sacrifices mo? Okay. Hello? Earth to Lance?
Hello.
Hello? Yan. Ano yung mga Lenten sacrifices mo?
Lang
Wala ulit.
Ang hirap ng internet. Oh. Sige, Lol, balikan na lang namin. Ha? So, Sir Bernz, let's start with you. Your Lenten sacrifices.
Siguro, my Lenten sacrifice is to really discipline myself in following my calendar and wag muna mag-K-drama. Ay, ang sakit nun, K-drama. Biro lang. No, pero yun, no, to follow my schedule, that's really a sacrifice in itself and not to stuff too much commitments and learn to say no. Ayan, learn to say no.
Thank you for that, Sir Bernz. No, what about you, Sir Kirby? Ano naman po yung mga Lenten sacrifices?
I love coffee, so I'm gonna skip some days for coffee. For you, it's not a big deal, but for me, it's like, oh man, no coffee today. What I'm gonna do? Parang nagpapanik na ako niyan minsan. So for those who are coffee lovers, you get me right. But my sacrifice might be small for some, but for me, it's like something I want to say. This time, it's for you, Lord. This sacrifice is for you, and probably do some almsgiving from the proceeds of the sales of today. So yes, well, today not meaning just this not just the show, right, but for the week. So in other words, a certain percentage to help the poor. So those are some things that I've been thinking.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. Ikaw naman, Sir Linus, ano po sa inyo? What are your Lenten sacrifices?
Yes, well, Sir Kirby kanina mentioned prayer, of course, confession, almsgiving, and fasting. These are the ordinary, sacrifices that we do during Lent. But I also advise my mentees. Earlier, I had mentoring chats, perfection of duties. Yeah, again, dun sa apat ni Sir Kirby, perfection of duties. Ano yung perfection of duties? As a student, what are the duties that you're supposed to do? Submit your requirements on time, help at home, diba? Do your prayers. Sometimes you don't need extra penance, just perfect your duties. Kasi that's very important. So me as a teacher, what are the duties that I'm supposed to do? As marketer of Northfield, what are the duties that I'm supposed to do?
Ayan.
So, perfect that. So dadagdagan ko lang yung apat, yung prayer, fasting, almsgiving, and confession, and perfection of duties para sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon.
Alright, thank you for that, Sir Linus. Ikaw naman, Lance, okay na ba?
Okay na.
Yan. What are your
Wi-Fi ko talaga, di ko lang maintindihan ba't yung Wi-Fi ko ganito. But,
what are your sacrifices?
Well, I think my Lenten sacrifices were probably Guru, would you consider like working out like a Lenten sacrifice? Because most of the time
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, I think for the whole quarantine I haven't exercised for like the longest time. So, because back then I used to exercise almost all the time, but yun, biglang nawala kasi syempre, na-burn out ako. Nawala yung passion, parang nawala na. Pero yun, I guess that I just wanted to like go back to exercise, and I remember like exercising, my body felt super sore. Kasi so syempre di ako sanay, diba? But yeah, I think that really is like my main sacrifice for now, is like going back to exercising almost like after class. I take like maybe at least like at least an hour to just dedicated to just working out. Pero kapag syempre medyo tamad, mga 30-40 minutes ganun. Pero yeah, that yun yung Lenten sacrifice ko.
Thank you, Lance. Ako rin, I agree, no? Medyo napasarap ang kain natin nung Pasko eh. And yung schedule ko ngayon, puro trabaho na ng trabaho. And I think I need to lose more weight kasi di na nagkakasya mga t-shirt ko. And
yun rin, Lucas, yun rin.
Sabi nga nila, it's all fun and games until your oversized shirts start not fitting. I start getting parang basta lumalaki ka na. And one more Lenten sacrifice that I have is I'll stop saying na okay na yan. Parang I won't compromise my work na just to meet the deadline. Parang I need to refine my schedule and start putting more hours into perfecting my craft kasi I'm doing all of this for the greater glory of God, di ba? So, di ba, sabi nga kanina, at the end of the day, tatanungin ka, anong ginawa mo? So, parang, yan ba ang ipapakita ko sa Panginoon? Parang, ang pangit naman, di ba? So, yun, thank you for that, no? Parang na akong... So, let's hear naman from our mariners. So, guys, if you can, let's read the comments and maybe you can send share your reactions, maybe your mga advice na gusto nyong masabi. So, allow me to add to the stream. Ayan, so meron na tayong mga for today. All right. So, from Mr. Calderon. Uy, meron. I will do my best to perfect my duties as a teacher. Yeah. Thank you for that. No. So, ito, exciting to. Noah Villarreal said, my sacrifice is to eat vegetables. Kailangan ko na rin ata. So, Sir Bernz, kindly, I think you can feel free to read some comments. Sir Bernz, go ahead.
Sige ha, hindi ko makita. Malabo na yata yung mata ko. So, babasahin ko yung comment ng menti ko, si Michael Lejano. I will finish all my work. Okay, I will take care of my dad because he has a wound. I will live a very happy life with all I've got left. Uy, grade 4 lang at elementary po ito si Michael ha, pero ang gaganda ng mga sagot na. I will not eat meat for one whole week. I will do my chores, go to my classes early, help take care of my mom's plans. I will not eat anything sweet for one day. Nag-move, hindi ko na nakita. Ayan. Pray every day that COVID-19 will end. Brush my teeth and shower every day. With GI, may GIF pa siya rito. Cute.
Thank you for that. So, Sir Kirby, if you can check out the comment and maybe give your thoughts on that, that would be great.
Yeah, let me zoom in first. Sabi ni Diego, I will study. Wait, where did Diego go? I will study harder and I will try my best to take care of my dad. Oh, yeah, because that was a very painful gout. That's good. Service, acts of service. I love that. Marco Maghari, I think you read that already as well. Gavin, I'd just like to highlight what Gavin is saying here. Pray the rosary daily, cut on my snacks, and obey my parents. Yeah, especially number 3, right? Because our parents have the best intentions for us. So to please our parents and to shock them with our obedience. That's great.
Gonna shock them with our obedience. Thank you for that, Sir Kirby. Sir Linus, may mga nakita ka ba bang comments dyan?
Yes. From Carlo, my sacrifice is to eat vegetables, being a good boy, obeying my parents, and study hard. Yes, Noah Villarreal, my sacrifice is to eat vegetables. Yes, before hindi rin ako makain ng vegetables, pero when I started eating vegetables, I enjoy eating vegetables. So, yeah, start eating vegetables as early as now. Health is wealth, guys. Yes.
All right. Go ahead. So Lance, ikaw, meron pa ba tayong mga comments dyan we can check out?
Sige, can you scroll up ka nga? Teka, tingnan kung ano. Ayun. Oh, Mr. Calderon. Gusto ko lang ito basahin na. I will do my best to perfect my duties as a teacher. Okay, whoever Mr. Calderon
inulit po namin yun para
whoever Mr. Calderon is, I know he's doing a great job.
May accountability si Mr. Calderon.
Ito, parang Ron. I think his name is Ron. My sacrifice is not to play every time I want. I give time for my study. Yes, relate ako dyan. So, shoutout po sa mga mahilig mag-gaming po dyan. Huwag muna tayo mag-gaming kat mag-aral ka lang naman ng mabuti.
Regulate muna natin.
Maglaro. Oo. Tsaka ano pa ba?
Last comment that we can check out.
Josh has a very simple answer. I will not be bad to others.
Aww.
Oh, and I think that
nice.
drives it home, no? Let's let this time Lenten season. Let's try to reconnect, no? Reconnect our relationship with our Lord and also with our families. Let's pray the rosary together. Let's have mass together, and together, sabi nga nila, no, the family that prays together stays together. So,
amen.
And also as one Northfield community, let's pray more often.
Tama.
So ayun, maraming salamat, no. Thank you so much for joining us today, dear friends. So, and before we end today's show, allow me to share a couple of announcements that we have, no. Of course, happening na now, Knowing the Faith, with Father Dan is Stepa, 5 p.m. every Friday. Sir Bernz, can you share with us, ano po ba ang topic today? Would you happen to know?
I think the topic for today is the history behind the 40 days of Lent. So, ayan, nakita nyo na po mga kaibigan yung ating Zoom sa comment section. Just click it to get into the Zoom meeting with Father Dan. That's
great. Thank you, sir. And next week naman, Sabado, virtual open house of our wonderful school. To our friends joining us today, if you wish to join us, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m., Feb 27, 2021. You may register at bit.ly/Feb27 open house. And a couple of other announcements for our mariners. Remind ko lang kayo guys na father and son activity po natin, Feb 26 to 27. And also Feb 25th, we remember the EDSA People Power Revolution. Wala pong pasok that day. And next week, Club Day po tayo, Feb 24. That being said, any closing remarks for our wonderful, wonderful viewers out there, guys? Kahit sino pwedeng mag-unmute dyan. Final remarks na lang. Actually, no, we can start with Sir Kirby. Sir Kirby, any closing remarks for our viewers today?
Remind ko.
Sige, Sir Linus po muna. Sir Linus, go ahead.
Wala yata si Sir Linus.
Naglalag si Sir Linus.
Naglalag po ata. Ayan,
Hello.
go ahead, sir.
No, remind ko lang yung Padlet wall natin is available sa ating Northfield Quad. So if they want to post their Lenten sacrifices, check our Northfield Quad para ma-post.
Yun, maraming salamat, sir. And yan, kaya naman natin inalagay sa Padlet wall para meron tayong accountability. So sana nagawa natin yung ating mga Lenten sacrifices, dear miners. No? So Sir Kirby, you can close us off. Any closing remarks for our viewers for today?
Yeah, if you have a dream, don't be afraid to pursue your dream. And if you're passionate about your dream, then there's only one way to go towards that direction. So overcome your doubts and fears, believe in your God-given abilities, and serve others the best that you can while glorifying God. So that's it. Live a fired up life.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So, thank you so much for joining us, dear friends, for today's wonderful episode of FortiKast. Allow me to close today's episode. We thank you so much for joining us today's episode. We hope you had a great time. You learned something new today. Virtus in veritate, there is strength in virtue. See you in our next episodes. This has been the FortiKast online show with the Triple L plus B, Sir Linus, Lance, Lucas, Sir Bernz, together with Sir Kirby Llaban. See you in our next episodes. Attack on Titan Season 4 currently ongoing. Shinzo Sasageo, and live a fired up life. This has been the FortiKast online show. God bless. Stay safe. Fortuna 540 was happy.
Bye.
Happy weekend. Paalam.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
See you.